So continue with shaving. We mentioned yesterday the svara of Chatam Sofer and the Noda Yehuda and so on and so forth. And we did mention that most people did not receive that psak that of the Chatam Sofer that you're not allowed to shave your hair even with the misparam ke'entar, like with scissors. And according to that, any kind of a shaving machine would not be allowed because there's a great chashash of isur midoraita to the matter. Most people did not receive this psak. However, many Hungarian Jews that follow the Chatam Sofer used to, at least if not shave the beard completely, used to leave some kind of like a stubble or something of that sort, so they won't come to this issue that the Chatam Sofer had mentioned. And of course, we need to talk about what is exactly misparam ke'entar, what is those scissors, like a razor that we're talking about. So one might say that technically all shaving machines would be allowed to use. Why? Because there is a chatzitza, there is a barrier between the cutting blade and the actual skin. It doesn't come like a razor. What happens in a razor? Let's say you take a straight razor or any of those machines with Gillette, whatever you shave yourself with. Where the razor comes in direct contact with the skin and it removes a whole chunk of hair at one time. Okay? Here, when you use a shaving machine, there is always either a foil or those bars over there where the hair actually could penetrate in, and then the cutting blades cuts after he went through it. Arav Tzvi Pesach Frank, in his Shelot V'Tshuvot Har Tzvi, very important, we have it over here, wrote this svara, but not a direct, not with, as they said, with a full mouth. He was asked if a washing machine, if a shaving machine is considered to be the same as chituch bayadayim. Meaning, in other words, when I'm taking the razor and I'm cutting with my hand directly, is it the same way? And he says that the answer is yes, even though that the electric motor inside the machine is the one who actually doing it. I'm just moving on my face, but the motor actually moves the blade. However, inside those words that he was saying, he mentioned the fact that what we said earlier, where there is a situation in machines that is different than a razor, where it doesn't come in direct contact with your skin. This is not a clear statement of Frank. This is because of that you could shave a machine. It's just kebeder chagav. This is, by the way, he said something. In Sefer Melumadei Milchama, it's a Sefer, a recent book from Israel. They dealt with this question, and he actually allowed, this is Rav Rabinovich, he allows to use any kind of a shaving machine. Why? Because he considered them to be melaket and rehitini, according to his opinion. He holds that those two instruments, melaket and rehitini, their characteristic is that you cut every hair individually, as much as you do in a shaving machine. The blade cuts one hair, so-called, almost like one hair at a time. Especially, therefore, it will be a difference, by the way, if you use a foil or you use those spinning machine. It doesn't cut so many hair at one time. And this is melaket and reitini. Melaket is the pluckers and so on and so forth. You can't pull two hair at one time, So, and this is according to him, that's what the shaving machine does. Unlike a razor that cuts a lot of hair at one time. However, one should not rely on this svara when it comes to isur mideoraita as shaving as we have here. Why? Because the Rishonim explain that using a melaket or the heter, the permission to use melaket in raitini is because they are not used for the purpose of shaving. It's not a machine or it's not an instrument that is dedicated for shaving only. And not because they cut one hair at a time or they don't cut for hair, that's not the issue. It's because it's not something that you used to. For example, maybe if I was able to take a piece of hard plastic and go like this, it won't be isur mideoraita. I mean, I might rip my face, but it won't be isur mideoraita as shaving because it's, let's say, a credit card is not something you shave with. However, if I use, for example, if I'm not mistaken, the Rabbi Yehuda brings that, if I use samemanim, I put like those foam or cream on my face that makes your hair fall. He says that you should not use an instrument, even though the hair is actually out, to remove that foam from your face or the soap from your face in a way that it might look like you were shaving. So even if let's say I put this cream on my face and I took a piece of credit card and I'm just going like this, even though it's not shaving, it looks like it, and one should prevent of doing that. A different way to distinguish between a razor and what we call scissors is based on the fact that the scissors cut the hair using two blades. There's a moving blade and a stationary blade, where the razor cuts it only with one blade. And if we say that this is the main difference in operation between a razor blade and a shaving machine and scissors, so we need to ask the practical question, of course, is a shaving machine cuts the hair with one blade or two blades? Again, if I distinguish the difference between scissors, it's okay to use, is because I'm using two blades, and because of that it doesn't come close to the face, etc., 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 and the razor is straight contact with the face, I'm cutting it. If I use a blade, a machine, a shaving machine, how does it actually cut the hair? So it would seem like that a shaving machine would cut the hair through a screen or some kind of like a device that separates. And after you shave, you should have at least hair that stays on your face as thick as that barrier, whether it's the foil or whether it's this little screens that they have that the thing comes underneath. Because the hair goes, if this is the let's say this is the foil or the screen, and therefore the hair comes here and then it cuts it here, so I should have at least this much hair left. That's why when I feel it, it won't be a smooth shave. It would seem that the reason for that is really a biological thing or a natural thing. Why? Because the hair is a flexible thing, and by cutting it, it kind of sucks into the machine, and then the hair, it's being pulled because it's all movable. It's pulled into the machine, and then it springs back into the skin, and of course this would raise us the question to the physical, to reality really on our face. Is there any hair left that is uncut because I'm using the again, why I keep saying washing machine, from the shaving machine. So I don't know if it's I don't shave, so I don't know. But the question is, when you shave your beard or you shave your face, that's probably the only part of your body you should be shaving. Is there any hair on your face? If the answer is no, it's smooth as I use the razor, we might have a problem. We might have a problem. And there are two other delicate questions, and that, by the way, should be visible to the eye. And I did look at one particular very famous rabbi that does not have a beard. I looked at him close, and we were discussing that. He said, look, it's true, he has places that he has a little bit of hair. And he says, I don't press it. I just go light on my face, and if I miss, I miss. So the two other questions is, so we have to see which are quite relevant in order to determine the halakha, is the knife touching the skin? And if we see that the machine so-called pulled the hair inside, could be also that some of the skin also comes in contact. And what you do when you're shaving is you're also removing a microscopic layer of your skin. So it's good for your skin, it's always rejuvenated. That's why men have better facial skin than women, because it's always rejuvenated. And we don't put the mask, we just shave. So if I do it like this, is it any layer of my skin being removed as well by the machine? And another one, if the machine cuts the hair with the blade alone, if we compare it, it will be like comparable to a lawnmower. A lawnmower, there's the grass, right? There's the grass. You adjust the height, and what does the cutting? The blade. There's no net or screen that the grass blades go through, and then he cuts it like that. Or similar to when we use a shaver for a barber. He cuts the hair. He puts those clips on, and then gives you an adjustment. If you use it with no clip, it will give it to you baldy. However, it would not give it to you smooth. It would not be smooth. Because also over there we have that cutting. So that will be like scissors. It would not be smooth like you shaved. So that we really need to see. We need to determine what's the mitziut, what's the reality, and based on that only, we could continue determining if we could use shavers, and if we could use shavers, which shavers are okay to use and which shavers are not okay to use. And for that, there's always tomorrow.